when it comes to a cancer diagnosis, I realize a lot of people feel or think that's it, they're going to die. You know, my story of being diagnosed with breast cancer. And the funny thing is though, for me, I was just angry.
He said to me, I'm wearing a catheter. They did something called a PSA blood test. I was quite embarrassed, to be totally honest, and like, wow, this is quite intrusive. And he said, Mr. Thompson, you need to relax. I went, relax? I said, how can I relax? Well, they said, it's not good. Your prostate should be smooth. Said to me, well, unfortunately, you've got prostate cancer.
Wow.
Prostate cancer itself now doesn't necessarily show any symptoms. Prostate cancer itself is not a death sentence if caught early. I'm a living example of that. I was diagnosed in March, and in April, I was having surgery.
That was fast.
I then decided I'm going to end it.
You're going to end what?
My life.
Wow.
I just felt useless, totally inadequate, less of a man. I thought, what's the point of living? Cancer didn't kill you. Why are you trying to kill yourself? Why are you trying to take your life?
Wow, that's deep. For me, the shame and the embarrassment for me with breast cancer was more of losing the breast.
Be around people who understand. Be around people who are not judgmental.
Yes.
Be around people who have empathy.
Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube channel called Her Voice, Her Strength. If it's your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe and please don't forget to like this video. So today it's not going to be about me, but it's going to be about my special guest who I have invited on my channel because the month of March is about prostate cancer awareness. So my special guest fought prostate cancer and beat it. And from beating it, he birthed an organization called Cancer Don't Let It Win. And what he does with this organization is he provides a support group for men and actually women, and supports women that have partners that have been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And also, he also supports men to exercise in the gym and how to exercise. So my special guest is called Jeff Thompson. Jeff, please come and have a seat right next to me.
Hello.
It's been a long time.
Oh, it's a long time. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Wow.
How are you?
Wow. I'm flabbergasted, really. I'm actually sitting here with the queen herself. Wow.
Her voice, her strength.
Her voice, her strength.
No, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's an honor to have you on my channel. My first guest as well.
Hey,
You're my first guest.
there you go. Let's make it a brilliant time, eh?
Yeah. So, I believe it's a special day for you though, or a special month for you, isn't it? March.
Ironically, yes.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
It's special for me because 7 years ago this month, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Wow.
And also this month, when I was diagnosed on the 28th of March, was the day my son was born.
Wow.
And that was so ironic. That diagnosis really caused me to sit back and reflect heavily. Let me tell you how I got diagnosed.
Please tell us.
Yeah, let
Please
me give
tell
you
us.
the journey. I was a martial art instructor for 26 years. And doing martial arts, you tend to think you're very fit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
You're on it. Yeah, all that kung fu stuff.
Kung fu stuff, yeah.
And I remember not seeing my sparring partner for about 3 weeks. I was a little concerned because I had no one to beat up. Not literally.
Beat up, you know. He said beat up.
Sparring partner, yeah. And I saw him on the high street after the 3 weeks, and he was walking rather strangely, a bit like John Wayne, you know. And I was a little bit like me being a little joker. I said, you know, why are you walking as if your middle leg's too heavy for you? He took me aside, and after having a right little laugh, and then he said to me, I'm wearing a catheter.
Wow.
To be honest, Andrea, I didn't know what a catheter was because I had no need to know what a catheter was, but I've never had to experience that. So he said, tell me, and he said to me, he's had prostate cancer. I went, but how's that
Wow.
possible? You're so fit.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought, same thing. So how did you get diagnosed? I said. He said, well, it was a well-manned health check he did, and they did something called a PSA blood test,
Right.
which I've now come to understand is called prostate-specific antigen blood test. I'm there listening very keenly. And the next day I decided I'm going to my doctor.
Okay.
And I want to have one of these PSA blood tests.
Mm-hmm.
Walked into my doctor's surgery and I said to them, I'd like to, book an appointment for a PSA blood test.
Mm-hmm.
I got the appointment, sat there with my doctor and explained to him that I wanted a PSA blood test. He looked at me and went, why do you need a PSA blood test? You're quite fit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any symptoms?
Right.
I went, symptoms like what? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
What symptoms am I looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we continued this conversation, deliberating whether or not he should give me this blood test. He then did perform the blood test. But then after that, one thing my friend didn't tell me about, I call it the dreaded Dr. Dre.
Okay.
It's called a direct retinal examination. Yeah?
That sounds a bit crazy.
Yes, so that's why I call it the Dr. Dre.
Right.
And what that was basically is the only way you could physically feel the prostate is through a finger up the anus.
Ouch.
Yeah. So at that point, when he mentioned that to me, I looked at the size of his fingers and I thought, you're going to put that where the sun don't shine? And he giggled and he said, well, unfortunately, that's the only way we'd be able to feel the prostate.
Wow.
And I thought about it and and natural
How
man.
was you feeling?
Well, I was quite embarrassed, to be totally honest. And like, wow, this is quite intrusive.
Very.
He then said to me, look, it will be over in no time. So I thought, okay, it's just me and the doctor in here. Nobody knows what's going on.
True.
I then, got myself in the position, the assumed position, which is a fetal position. And the stranger thing is, he's behind me, and all I'm hearing is like the latex.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm thinking, okay. So as his hand touched my buttocks, I tightened up so tight.
I can imagine.
I thought, if I walked, I would squeak. That's how tight I was. And he said, Mr. Thompson, you need to relax. I went, relax? I said, how can I relax knowing that you're going to be performing such a procedure on me?
Right.
You're going where the sun don't shine.
Right.
Yeah, virgin territory. Okay? But anyway, we're there talking. And in no time, he had performed the procedure and said to me, ooh, the prostate's lumpy.
Wow.
And I went, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said, it's not good. Your prostate should be smooth. And I thought, okay. So from there, he decided to get onto the phone, and he called a particular hospital. And I had an emergency appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And that emergency appointment then led onto me having a biopsy. And I'm thinking, okay, now having the biopsy, if I thought the Dr. Dre was intrusive, the biopsy
must have been crazy.
Oh my God. They said to me, it's not going to hurt. It's just be a bit uncomfortable. And I won't go into the whole description of how the biopsy was done. But let's just say, at first, I was in a fetal position for the examination.
Mm-hmm.
The next position I was now in is a position as if I'm giving birth.
Wow. I want to ask you, so this is the second step, right, of checking your prostate. How quick was that from him checking your prostate? Was it 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks?
Okay, from he checked my prostate, it was a matter of, say, 2 days.
2 days, wow.
Yeah, it was going really fast.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a normal procedure. But the normal procedure is when you go for a blood test, you have your PSA blood test,
right,
and then you have what they call an MRI scan. And then from the MRI scan, if anything shows, untoward, you have a biopsy.
Right.
I missed out. the MRI scan.
Why
for
is
some
that?
reason. I wish I knew.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I believe he was panicking. That's what I believe. And it probably is the best thing that he did anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and also, now, the first step to a prostate examination is no longer a finger up the rear end. It's no longer the Dr. Dre.
Right.
Okay. But some doctors still do ask,
do you want to do that?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
The choice is now yours.
Mm.
Yeah. So you don't have to have that, to be tested. But anyway, furthermore, going on after that, I was then, my, results came back.
From the biopsy, yeah?
Yeah. I was told within a couple of weeks I'll get them.
Mm-hmm.
Came back again, almost like 3 days.
Oh, it was very quick.
Yeah, very quick. Maybe because it was done on.
Is this NHS hospital you went to?
It was a private hospital.
It was a private hospital you went to. Okay,
So
that's why.
maybe
It's probably fast.
yeah,
it's very fast. Yeah.
And when it came back and they told me that, I was called in and they said to me, look, Mr. Thompson, you came by yourself. I said, yeah. I thought nothing of it. I said, look, just get to the point. Tell me, what's the prognosis?
Yeah.
Said to me, well, unfortunately, you've got prostate cancer.
Wow.
I went, how's that possible? I've had no symptoms.
Yeah.
I had no problems, erectile dysfunction, which is one of the symptoms, urgency to go to the toilet. I had none of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So I blame them. I said, nah, you guys gave me that.
Yeah.
All that prodding and poking and going places where the sun doesn't shine. You caused me to have prostate cancer. I was in denial. So all the information that were giving me, as in, what my next step is.
Mm-hmm. You wasn't listening.
Right, listening. White noise. It was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
They said to me, go home, think about, what treatment you'd like to have. I took this information home. Did I read it?
And what treatment did they offer you?
Well, they offered me prostatectomy, which was removal of the prostate.
Okay.
Radiotherapy,
okay.
Which would have been, a course of radiation,
okay.
On the actual prostate, and some others, but I didn't totally.
They didn't offer you chemotherapy, no? No. Okay. Wow.
So yeah, got home, thought about it. I thought, I'm going to die.
I think when it comes to a cancer diagnosis, I realize a lot of people feel or think that's it, they're going to die. Yeah. Obviously, my story of being diagnosed with breast cancer. Yeah. And the funny thing is, though, for me, I was just angry. I just didn't have the feeling of I'm going to die. Would you say that if you didn't speak to your friend or you didn't see your friend in that way, you probably wouldn't have gone to go and check?
No, I wouldn't have. And do you know what would have happened? I might have ended up having prostate cancer and not surviving.
Right.
Because of late diagnosis. Because prostate cancer itself now doesn't necessarily show any symptoms. So while you're sitting there waiting for symptoms, okay, you may already have the cancer growing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's important, especially if you have a family history. Like my father had prostate cancer.
Wow. Did you know about that? Because, in the Black community,
it was not talked about.
Nah. Yeah. Okay. I was going to ask about that because, coming from African background and you as well, I believe you're from Caribbean background. Yeah. I realized that parents or the generation before, they just don't speak about anything that they've gone through. Yeah. It's more of, I don't know if it's a pride or shame, but that is the situation.
You're right, because it then dawned on me that it's a case of embarrassment.
Right.
Yeah. And, I always say this, if my father, if I could go back and wake my father up, then I would strangle him dead. And so why didn't you tell me? Yeah. Because at least then I would have known. But the ironic thing is, prostate cancer itself is not a death sentence if caught early. I'm a living example of that. And yes, all the symptoms that I should have had leading up to having prostate cancer, I had it after I had my surgery. When I removed the prostate, that's when the nightmare began.
Wow.
I ended up with erectile dysfunction, urine incontinence.
Wow.
And not even just that, it affects me.
Your mental health and everything. Yeah. So with all of those challenging, they're not even symptoms, things that you went through, obviously it's not just shame. You went through a lot of things at the same time. So how did you cope? What did you do? What happened? Did you go outside? Did you not go outside? How did you manage? Did you get support? Did you have friends? Or was you by yourself in that time?
Well, during that time, it was difficult. It's very difficult. And because we haven't got the whole day to talk about this, I'll just give you some bullet points.
Right.
I remember, not wanting to go outside because I was embarrassed. I didn't want no one seeing me because, I'm coming from a section of my life where I was at the top of my game, full of confidence and bouncing and always smiling, the life of the party. And then just imagine you're at home now and you cough, you wet yourself.
Wow.
You sneeze, you wet yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, drinking water, you were not able to hold the water.
Wow.
So my social life became non-existent. I even stopped drinking water.
Really? But you need water.
And that caused a lot of other problems, which we won't go into. And I remember there was a Matt Millen there that I spoke to, and she said to me, Jeff, you must go and exercise. You need to go and walk in order for your immune system to kick in.
Okay.
Right. I said, I'm not going outside. You're joking. Not me. All right. So anyway, she convinced me and she said to me, look, because I had to now wear pads like a baby. So henceforth, I'm not going out there. I don't want no one to know I got pads on. But obviously they don't know. I'm the only one that knows that.
But it feels like everyone's going to know. Yeah, everyone's looking at you and knows.
Anyhow, I decided, okay. She said, the pads you've got are super absorbent. So if you have an accident, don't worry about it. It's not going to leak.
Okay.
I took her advice and I walked out in the high street and I had on a pair of khaki trousers, not these.
Okay.
Okay, not these.
Okay.
Right, very similar.
Okay.
And white trainers, not these. But very similar.
Okay.
And I put on this white t-shirt. It's so long, you would have thought I was wearing a skirt.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted it to just cover my
conscious
front area.
about the pads and stuff, yeah.
So having now started suffering with stress incontinence, which means that any little thing, it will trigger me off and I'll wet myself. I stepped out and I'm walking on the high street. A friend of mine, drove up behind me, tooted the car horn. What happened? I jumped.
You panicked, you jumped.
And as I jumped, I felt a little rush of urine,
wow.
In the pad. So I looked down thinking, okay.
You're fine.
I'm all right. It's fine. It's not coming through. But then all of a sudden, it felt like someone turned the tap on and the urine just started to flow.
Wow.
And it wouldn't stop.
Wow.
Yeah. And I always say this, and I'm not exaggerating. When I looked down on my leg, you would have thought that the urine was deliberately shaping the map of Africa.
Wow.
As it went down my leg.
Wow.
And it was quite fast. It's almost like, I call it like the rivers of Jordan just started to flow.
Oh no.
And all in the trainers and everything. I went back home because in front of me were school kids laughing and jeering and pointing.
There were school kids laughing?
Yeah.
And pointing?
Pointing. My main concern was, do they have a mobile phone? They didn't. Tunnel Vision got home.
Oh, so they didn't have mobile phones then?
No, okay. They did.
They did, but they didn't film and film it. Right.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Tunnel Vision, as I said, got home. And by the time I got home, that's it. Closed my curtains. Hot summer's day. Closed the curtains. Switch off everything that gave me access with the outside world.
Wow.
And like I said, my mental state of mind was no longer operating on the level I thought it would.
Did any friends or family know, not just about what happened, in the public, but did anyone know that you was diagnosed with prostate cancer and you went through your operation? Did anyone know?
Yeah. When I was diagnosed, I think I told my son.
Okay.
Because he rang me on the day of his birthday.
Right.
And he said, Dad, how come you haven't called me? Because I've never missed a birthday.
Right.
Never. And I was so abusive to him on the phone. He couldn't believe it. On the other end of the phone, he was in tears because he didn't recognize his father.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first person that I told. And, you know, my other children then called, and my daughter, she contacted me, and first thing she could say to me is, Dad, how long have you got to live?
Wow. It's
And
that thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cancer. Everyone always thinks the person's going to die.
Always, yeah. But it was not easy. It was terrible. And the support wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're here having a life-threatening disease, and you're going through this on your own. And, you know, I hear, you know, hospitals will say, you know, we're there to do this and do that for you. But I may have just slipped through the net because I didn't get that support.
They do say that, I think, but I think with hospitals, I think they tell you the right things, but sometimes they don't actually reach out to you. It's like, it's more of you doing the job.
You have to be proactive.
Yeah, you have to call them. But what they don't realize when you're in that state and when you're going through that, you've got no energy to be calling and chasing people. Can you help me? So from telling your son about the diagnosis, but let's go back from the situation that happened outside with the kids laughing when the accident happened. You got back home, you shut the windows. Then what did you do next?
I got home, shut the windows. All right. I don't drink.
Okay.
Yeah. But I had a bottle of rum in the house, just in case, you know, friends who come around for social. Okay. I used to like to watch them get drunk, and I have a good laugh.
Okay.
Yeah? And anyway, you know, I'm at home, and I sat on my bed. Yeah, I'm home alone. And I thought, this is impossible. How is it that my life has changed so much that one day, just domino effect, yeah, everything was so fast. I could not believe what was going on. Yeah. And I was diagnosed in March, and in April, I was having surgery.
That was fast.
Very fast. So I didn't have time to compute and put anything together. So here I am at home, don't know anything about the aftercare of having prostate cancer. These kids really messed up my head even more.
I mean, it's just.
So we're talking about the rum.
No words. I don't have the right words to say that, but.
But it's fine. It's fine. We'll pass through that. I then decided I'm going to end it.
You're going to end what?
My life.
Wow.
I thought I cannot live like this.
Wow.
I just felt useless, totally inadequate, less of a man. I thought, what's the point of living? So I took the bottle of Ray Nephew and some tablets that I got from the hospital.
Wow.
And I decided I'm not going to take it with water. I want to make sure that I go quickly.
Wow.
So I took the tablets and I drank the Ray Nephew. I couldn't even tell you how much tablets, but it was a lot. And I took it all down and drank the Ray Nephew. It was burning the inside of I couldn't understand, why do people drink this?
Yeah, I mean, Ray Nephew, the thing is crazy. It sounds very strong. So
I felt the point in my life where I was just going.
But how did you know that was going to kill you, that mix?
But it's poison.
Yeah.
I always say to people, why are you guys drinking poison? So that's the only thing that came to me. I thought that would be the best way out, quickest way out. Have a party with Ray Nephew. Yeah. I did that. And the moment I felt like I was going, literally, something happened. I remember saying, if there's a God up there, you know, this is your chance to prove yourself that you really do exist.
Wow. Yeah. You tested God like that.
Even though I was brought up in a Christian home, I went to church, but to be honest, I didn't know God. Okay. I didn't know God in that sense. And I remember lying on the bed and I felt this pain, excruciating pain in my stomach. And I grabbed my stomach and everything just regurgitated.
So you just vomited everything out.
And
wow.
It was disgusting. I won't even describe. And do you know what? I stayed in that state for 2 days. Didn't clean up.
With all the vomit, everything.
Yeah, that's how far my mental state had gone. And I stayed there and I thought, why didn't I die?
Wow.
I really didn't want to be here. But then the penny dropped. Hey, cancer didn't kill you. Why are you trying to kill yourself? Why are you trying to take your life?
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. Then I picked the phone up, called my friend who told me about his cancer diagnosis.
Right, yeah.
He then said to me, oh, did you know that, I'll pretend his name is John.
Okay.
Right? John down the road was diagnosed also with prostate cancer. So I said to him, how did it make you feel? He said, didn't you see my wrist? I said, yeah, I had sweatbands on. It's under the sweatband, I tried to take my life.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't believe how much cancer had affected me. And him being a martial art instructor himself, couldn't believe what had happened. Everything had lost. He said, this one had prostate cancer. So I thought, let's do a 3-way call. Wow. So we called him and 3 of us having this conversation. And I'm just going to use pseudo names, right? I said, Peter, why didn't you tell me that you had prostate? Nope, I was too embarrassed. I didn't know him laughing at me and thinking that I'm less of a man.
And this is the thing, the embarrassment, the shame. I feel like, for me, for example, for me, the shame and the embarrassment for me with breast cancer was more of losing the breast. Mm-hmm. That's what brought the shame. Whereas with men, it's just having the diagnosis. It's not really what you're losing, it seems like, but it feels like the journey, the processes, the things that you have to go through after the operation. Yeah. It seems that that's the shame. Whereas for me, it's losing the body part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? You say, I always seem to compare women who have had to lose their breast, right? And with men who've had prostate cancer. Because let's say, in this sense, a breast is another form of your sexual makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man penis is a part of his sexual makeup.
Right.
And that is what affects men more. The fact that Lazarus cannot rise again.
Okay.
Yeah. And because you cannot rise again, that makes you feel less of a man.
Right.
Because you feel you cannot satisfy, your wife, your girlfriend, or whoever you're involved with.
Yeah.
That part of you is gone. But it's not every man that is diagnosed with prostate cancer totally lose their erection.
Right.
Every treatment you have for prostate cancer has a side effect, and it will affect your erection.
Right.
But it's only a certain time. It can come back.
Right. Okay.
You have things like a nerve sparing operation if you have your prostate removed, right? If you have radiotherapy and you have hormone therapy, what the hormone therapy does is suppresses your testosterone,
right,
which stops the cancer from growing too fast.
Right.
Yeah. And then the radiotherapy again, it also plays a part on your libido.
Wow.
But depending on how long you've been on this treatment, you can actually regain your erection and your sexual feelings after a while. But it's a game of patience.
Okay.
If you rush, you're not going to get there.
Okay.
Yeah. But I always say to men, it's better that you go and look at your health and look at your sexual pleasure.
Right.
Yeah. Put your health first. Sexual pleasure will come after. And again, a lot of men don't realize they have a prostate. I didn't realize I had a prostate.
Wow.
Until I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. That's strange, isn't it?
Very strange. And do you know what? Just to bring this as well, I worked in the NHS a couple of years ago, and my speciality was urology.
Right.
And I dealt with booking men for checking their prostate, basically. But actually, it was gone past checking their prostate. It was more booking them, preparing them if they need an MRI, like you mentioned, or if they, after the MRI, if they do have prostate cancer, that's it. Obviously, you have the biopsy, etc., etc. But it was more of, I realized even sometimes calling patients where I could tell they were Black background, and they were very reluctant to come to have their appointment. You know, it was more like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
No, okay, don't worry about it, and so forth. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the men, especially men. I know that, well, it's not just men. I think just the Black community as well now in general, but I think it's more predominantly men in the Black community where they don't like to go and have a checkup, whether it's cancer, whether it's just to check your general health, whether to do a blood test. It's just men in general. They don't like to check. Yeah. Why is that?
I think that comes down to a lot of fear.
Okay.
Yeah. And some men don't want to go and get tested because they're afraid of the outcome. Yeah. And I always say that it's like, you know, someone has a Porsche. Yeah. And another person rides a bicycle. The man that's sitting in the Porsche doesn't necessarily know how to drive the Porsche, right?
Yeah.
So, but he's just sitting there, knowing that the Porsche can do a certain amount of speed and so on. It's almost like he's afraid to turn the engine on because he doesn't know if he could handle what's going to come.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
A lot of men that I've spoken to, because with our organization, we've got now over 3,000 members.
Okay.
Right. They tend to don't want to know that they've got cancer because they're afraid of the consequences or the side effects. But I always say fear is not something that we should dwell on. Yeah, fear is something that we should try and overcome.
Absolutely.
Because it's just the thing that we don't know about that we fear. But once you've got the knowledge and you educate yourself in you know, like you're driving a car, you're a first-time driver. Yeah. Yeah, you don't know how to drive, but once you've been taught how to drive, you pass the test, you get into that car, you control that car.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah? So that fear's gone out the window.
Absolutely.
So the more you educate yourself about prostate cancer, it's the less fear you'll have. So
in saying that, you spoke about your organization. Please tell us a bit about your organization.
Right. Cancer Done It, when we put, I think we're now established since 2022.
Okay.
Right, we established as a CIC, community interest company.
Okay.
Which we're now on the verge of stepping into that charitable status.
Okay.
Now, with Cancer Done It Win, we give men a safe space. Okay. Where they to come and talk about their experiences and the problems they're going through with prostate cancer. We help them to navigate through their journey. And we also act as advocates for men who don't understand, you know, their diagnosis. Women who are living with men with prostate cancer, we also now support them. So we have a women's group separate from the men's group.
Very good.
Okay. So when, you know, because most men sometimes when on hormone therapy, they actually end up having a thing called almost like your name, adrenopause, but it's called menopause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
well, menopause. Now we know that you guys are the pause.
There you go. I always wonder why women call it
menopause. It's men. Men is the issue. Men. I'm joking.
Okay, another subject, I guess.
Another subject, but
So those men experience menopause, and all of a sudden now they can understand their wives, why their wives were getting hot flushes and so on, and they now realize that, oh my God, I was misjudging it because of your hormone. And a lot of relationships break up through menopause because the men don't seem to understand what the woman's going through. Yeah. So now they are going through it. They understand it. And that woman now become their greatest support. Yeah. Their caregivers. Yeah. So, but who supports the women?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
And that's what I noticed. It's not happening. So me having prostate cancer, and I would say to my partner or, you know, my wife, how are you feeling, darling?
Oh,
that makes a big change.
Yeah.
Rather than you expect your girlfriend, your wife or whatever to say, yeah, because women in your lives or the partners in your lives are feeling the ripples of your effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very important to always encourage and bring those people who are there with you on that journey with you. Don't isolate yourself. Yeah. But families as well, the children, they suffer also. They suffer in silence because they're thinking, will my dad die? What's going to happen? Will I get prostate cancer? And this is where we come to a thing called the BRCA genes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is so much we could talk about, but the BRCA genes is quite important. And I say that because you've experienced breast cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of men don't seem to realize that the BRCA genes, okay, can also have an effect on them. They can end up having breast cancer. Okay. They say it's rare, but it happens. Yeah, you have BRCA gene 1 and BRCA gene 2. If that man had those genes, okay, he's at risk of prostate cancer and breast cancer at the same time.
Wow, that's crazy.
So this is important, and that's why I think there is that that connection with breast cancer and prostate cancer, because it almost gives that same kind of feeling. You've lost something. Yeah, the man has lost his libido. A woman may have, lost the sense of looking beautiful and, feeling, especially if you've had a vasectomy.
Yeah.
You don't want no one to look at you. You just lose that confidence.
Yeah, you just kind of, hunch yourself. Yeah, inside, yeah.
But I believe it's important, right? As long as you're standing, you're winning. Yeah?
Amen to that.
Okay. And my organization is Cancer Don't Let It Win. There's a reason why I say cancer don't let it win. Yeah. Because if you let it beat you, who's to be blamed? Yeah. But you must keep pushing forward.
And, don't let it beat you. And I think what I want to add as well, in terms of, I just want to go back to the BRCA genes, prostate cancer, breast cancer. So would you say when a woman in the family has been diagnosed with breast cancer as such, would you say that it's important for her, for example, if she doesn't have the BRCA gene, would you still recommend that if she has brothers, uncles, or whatever in her family, men, to encourage them to go and get tested for prostate? Yeah? Irrespective with the BRCA gene or not?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Because my sister had breast cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's my older sister.
Right.
And my brother, after me, my older brother, ended up with prostate cancer.
Okay.
So I look into that and I thought, I need to now go and get that genes test to see if we carry the BRCA genes.
Or not.
Right. Because my father, prostate cancer, it's a little bit too close for comfort. Yeah. So what I would say to men, don't wait to have symptoms. Go and get yourself a PSA blood test.
What age would you say that it's important for men to go and check to have the blood test?
According to Prostate Cancer UK and other organization, they would say that black men must go and get tested within the age of 45. Okay. White men at the age of 50.
Okay.
They say 1 in 4 black men will have prostate cancer. 1 in 8 white men will have prostate cancer.
Wow.
And 1 in 12 South Asian men will have prostate cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wow.
But if you have a family history, okay, it's important to go and have a word with your doctor. Yeah.
Why is it that black men, the black community, is more at a higher risk with prostate cancer?
No, I've got my theory, but I can't say that on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it does annoy me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm very concerned about that.
Okay.
Okay. And it's when, I do a lot of work alongside other organizations, who are looking into, the reason, why prostate cancer is so prominent. And as we know now, prostate cancer has now become the most commonest cancer in men. Okay. That means it's rising. But is it rising because more men are being tested? Yeah. Because, with all the celebrities who have been, coming out now talking about being diagnosed, Chris Hoy for one, the cyclist, they're making a good, let's say, point for men to go and get tested. But I'm still very concerned about our community. And this is the reason why I support my community as much as possible. I go over here and I get education, I get knowledge, and I bring it into my community.
Amazing.
Yeah, because it's really important for them to know.
And in saying that as well, with Cancer Don't Let It Win, obviously we spoke about something else, but when you had your freeway call with your friends, I guess that was a good therapy for you. But what made you feel like, okay, I need to do something? Okay, there was like a light bulb moment for you. It was like, you know what? I'm going to stop feeling unhappy or sorry for yourself and all of that stuff. But when that clicked, you had that freeway call. When did Cancer Don't Let It Win get birthed?
Oh, do you know what? After that three-way call, you might as well say that's when it got birthed.
Wow. Okay.
Because I then realized that Black men didn't have that outlet or that support, of an organization where they trust.
And we're safe for them.
And
they're
safe.
Yeah.
Because that's the issue, trust. In our community, it's about trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we decided to, one of the guys on the phone was saying, man, just talking to you, I feel like I'm healing myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I
That's
thought,
powerful, in fact.
Yeah. So when I heard that, the first thing that came to my mind, it must have been downloaded by my director. First thing that came to my head was talking is a first step to your healing. Yeah. And I've kept that. And I've always used that everywhere I go, because no matter what you're going through, if you don't talk about it, nobody knows how to help you.
And on that point, him saying that, I just want to tell you guys where I met Jeff. I met Jeff last year, 2024. I think it was February time. He was actually speaking at an event to do with breast cancer awareness. And when I heard him speak, I said, wow, like, wow. And after that, I connected with Jeff and I was like, I need you in my life. You need to be in my life, type of thing, right? And he said the same thing to me at one point. Me and Jeff, we've had long conversations. It felt like therapy to me, even though his journey was different. But I felt like with Jeff, he understood how it feels just having a diagnosis of cancer and also feeling alone. But what I would say is that he's the one that got me speaking. So he's the one that gave me that little step to be like, Andrea, speak. I first shared my story about being diagnosed with breast cancer in Jeff's support group. So from him telling me that the first step of healing is speaking, he invited me and he told me, just speak about your story. And from there, it gave me the confidence and the courage to start speaking and start posting on my Instagram and actually be like, right, I'm going to tell everybody what I've gone through. And it was for me. It was not about everybody. It was just for me. And I can realize that from that, I started blogging. Even though blogging was very emotional, I broke down and cried. And then from that, look, Her Voice, Her Strength is here. I'm now talking about my journey. I've spoken about my journey. And Jeff, I'm grateful for that, because if it wasn't for what you told me last year about, talking is the way of healing, I wouldn't be speaking. Because I'll be honest with you, like I kept telling you, but I feel shameful. I've got one breast. Yeah. Like I just don't want people to hug me. And it wasn't just men, but friends, anybody. Just anybody. I didn't want no one to touch me because it's that I just was closing. And then, even though I didn't have the form of Notre Dame, like that, but inside I felt like that, But yeah, I just wanted to say that.
That's all right.
And thank you for that.
And and I'm very proud, of where you're coming from, because I do remember that moment we met.
Yeah.
And it's very important to be around people who understand, be around people who are not judgmental.
Yes.
Be around people who have empathy.
Absolutely.
Real
that one.
empathy.
Genuine one, yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, each time you talk about your journey, you're healing someone.
Wow.
Each time I talk about my journey, I'm educating and healing another man, or giving them the confidence to go out and say, I can do that. You got to love yourself.
Yeah.
You see, this body that we have become once in a lifetime. If we don't look after it and it goes, we can't get it back.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I always say to people, when you have, people say, oh, the word cancer, it's really scary. Yeah. Cancer, let's erase cancer and let's call it a tumor. Yeah, which is now cancerous. Yeah. But that's what cancer is. It's a tumor that's growing in a particular part of your body. Okay. I had a tumor growing in my prostate. Now, when I talk to people about a tumor, and if I don't put the word cancer on it, they're like, okay, right, yeah. But the minute
calms them down.
Yeah, the minute I say I've got prostate cancer, they hear the cancer. They don't hear the prostate.
Yeah, it's
true. They don't realize, oh, he's got a tumor. I now educate a lot of the men in our groups, and I say, when it comes to talking to your family and people close to you, just tell them you have a tumor, right? That it's growing, okay? It's treatable, yeah, and you're getting treatment for it. But if the minute you don't tell them like that, they may ask you, is it cancerous? You said yes, but it's treatable. Yeah, and the cancer where it comes in last. And it's easier then to accept. It's easier then for those who love you, right, to understand that at least he's getting it sorted.
And he's beating it. He's fighting it. You're not giving up.
Oh, no. I mean, this cancer thing, thank you, cancer, right? I say that quite strangely because it's taken me around the world, places I don't even want to mention, but it's really taken me out of one small community going on an international level.
Wow.
Never did I think this would happen.
Wow.
But as I say, my director directs me and I follow.
Amen. Your director is God, right?
That's right.
Because you said director. I was thinking, who's this director? But I thought, must be God.
But cancer is not a death sentence. And having had cancer, this is going to sound very strange.
Right.
It's made my life even better.
Wow.
Yeah. The reason I say that, because things I took for granted, I don't take them for granted no more. Things I wanted, like the stuff I had, like the nice houses and the fast cars. I then realized that those things are just temporary. But the thing that becomes valuable to me now, even more, is my life. The man that lives within this house. That is what keeps me going. That's what makes me think, look after my home. You have some people, they look fantastic on the outside, but inside it's all rotten and broken down. I don't want to be that person. I want to have that beautiful inside.
Yes.
And if my outside looks terrible, hey, I'm still beautiful inside. Yeah.
That's it.
Because I often said, at times as well, I used to say, a woman that I marry, I've got to love her more, as she gets older. Because she's still the quality woman within the body. So where that, unfortunate, I'd say, it's not unfortunate, but most time we look at someone, first thing is the lust, isn't it?
Yeah. The outside, everything.
The outside. How does it look? So then I could understand, you talking about how you feel with the
one breast. Yeah.
The one breast. But as I would say, nobody would ever notice. But the inside of a woman, inside of a man is where the beauty begins. Yeah. But we're talking about prostate cancer. Yes, it's prostate cancer, but it affects every emotion that you have. Yeah. Your family, your money, your lifestyle, everything.
Everything.
But that little tumor, like I say, is in one part of your body. Don't dwell on it and allow it to take over the rest of your body. Deal with it. keep it in that corner, get rid of it if you can. Yeah. Don't give up and don't let it define who you are.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Because it's only one part of your body. The burglar comes into your home, he's downstairs, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to lie in your bed and allow him to just
you're going to come down and beat him out.
Just sort him out.
Yeah. Tell him to get out.
That's right. And that's the same thing how I see the tumor. Get it dealt with.
Get it out.
Keep living your life. And when you do have a situation like cancer, it's an eye-opener. It's a time for you to reflect on the values of life.
Yeah.
Don't take it carelessly.
Yeah.
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 We're here today. Tomorrow might not be.
Wow, that's amazing. That's powerful. I've definitely got like 2 questions, or maybe not 2 questions, to be fair. I would say is that what I want to ask you is that what would you say or advise the young men? You know, people will look at you. Well, you look great, to be honest. I don't know how old you are, but you look really good and you look young. But I'm talking about young guys.
I'm an uncle.
You're an uncle. Okay, that's good. You know, young guys between 18, 20, 25, you know, that type of age. You know, would you advise them to still get a blood test, or don't bother, wait until 45?
Oh, with young men. And it's ironically you should ask me this, because I was at Parliament the other day. Okay. And I brought this subject up, and I said to them, why is it that children from the age of 16 upwards, or probably even younger, are being taught sex education? Right. They teach you how children are born. Yeah. They teach the young men about the sperm that lies in their testicles. Yeah. They don't teach the young men that the sperm in the testicles has to travel somewhere before it gets ejaculated. Now, I always call the prostate a male's womb. Yeah. Because the sperm comes up from the prostate, from the testicles, goes up into the prostate, and that's where it formulates, and it creates a liquid form called semen. Yeah. Now, when that is full and is ready to be ejaculated, it's then pushed down the urethra and into the bed of the vagina. Without the prostate, there is no way that sperm can form into semen. So a lot of young men don't know that, don't realize they have a prostate. So I'm saying that young men from the age of 18, 16, whatever, should know or should learn about the prostate and the purpose of the prostate. So when they get to a certain age, they keep an eye on it, just like how women get cervical cancer testing. Yeah. Right? This is what young men need to do when they reach a certain age. Yeah, 18 and those age, it's not really an age where, you know, they're at that major risk. But in saying so, I've had one 20-year-old young man, unfortunately he's not here, he had prostate cancer and he passed away. Wow. But his whole family history, prostate cancer all the way through. Wow. Yeah. And we have just recently, recently we just had a young man who's 35. He has prostate cancer, but early stage, they call it active surveillance. So they're saying nothing needs to be done about it, but we just keep an eye on you. Why? That's another story. The active surveillance to me is not something that I'm too happy with. If you got prostate cancer, why don't we deal with it? But there is a reason why the clinicians would say, you know, let's just keep an eye on it. Yeah? Okay. But only if you have that major family history, it's important then, you know, to go and talk to your doctor about it. Okay. Yeah? Okay. So it's not something that every young man will have. Remember, it's 1 in 4 black men. Yeah. Not every black man. Yeah. 1 in 4. Okay. But it's still a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. 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 But if you are concerned, speak to your doctor. Fair enough. Right. This is I don't know if I even spoke about this in any of my videos, but when I got diagnosed with breast cancer,
And I was just like, nope, I'm not going through no treatment. I'm not cutting off my breast. I'm not doing nothing like that. I decided to have herbs. Yeah, have herbs and go to the Jamaican man in Brixton, get the herbs and all of that stuff and drink that and do my own remedies and ship sour sop and all of that stuff from Jamaica. And, I was doing the most, right? But what is your perception, your take on like taking herbs or trying to heal yourself naturally? What is your take on that?
Okay. That's another very good question, because being a martial art instructor, I always believe in putting the right things into your body.
Right.
So I thought I was living what we call the alkaline body.
Okay.
Yeah. And according to, what I've been hearing, cancerous cells cannot live in an alkaline body.
Okay.
But strangely enough, we all have 200 different types of cancerous cells in our bodies. 200.
Wow.
They lie dormant. Okay. Now, I'm glad you brought that to my attention. And again, we had a 40-year-old man. Okay. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Okay.
Now, he said to me, I'm not going down the route of the traditional medicine. I'm going to go for the herbal products, the soursop, the merengue, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, why not combine both?
Yeah, actually, that's valid.
Combine both.
Okay.
And see.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, you know what? He was diagnosed, like, say, within this year. And the next year, he died.
Wow.
He had aggressive prostate cancer. And I always say to people, please do not play Russian roulette with your life. Yeah. I've had so much herbal products during my time, but still I ended up with prostate cancer.
Mm.
So yes, there are evidence to say, there's certain, herbal products that can reduce the growth, but it doesn't cure. And I'm yet to meet someone that said they're being cured and have the medical evidence, behind it to say, look, I've had breast cancer or I've had prostate cancer. I've been back and forth checking with my doctor. All I used was herbal supplements. And look, this is what my doctors have showed me. I'm now cancer-free.
Okay.
Show me the evidence and you might be able to convince me a bit. My sister-in-law died because she decided to stop using the medical medication and went to herbal, and then she died 6 months after.
Wow.
So what does that say?
Wow. And I think even you saying that as well, I think it's the same as well for even if you're a Christian. You can't just pray and not have treatment.
Yeah.
Basically, you combine the two, right? Because I'm a Christian and I believe in God, the Jesus God. But it's about combining the two. So praying and still going through the treatment on what is necessary to cure.
Yeah. Someone told me the other day, one of our group sessions in Balham,
right?
Not told me, asked me a question. Have you come across anyone, right, that's a Christian who God has healed, right? Have you seen any evidence? And while he was talking, I was just listening. I thought, you know what? Your faith is a great part in your healing. Yeah. So you will have those Christians who would say, I pray to God, right, to heal me of cancer. Yeah. And by them being directed to go to the doctor, right, go to and get the right treatment, the cancer has been healed, been cured. In their eyes, that's God that's gone forward and spoke to the doctors or whatever. He's given them the direction to go to get their healing. Yeah. So as far as they're concerned, God healed me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
God showed me the way to get healed, and I give him the glory. Yeah. So there's so many ways people could profess healing. But then again, as I said, that walk with you and God is individual, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah? It's true.
Well,
it's
what
true.
one will say may not work for you.
It's true. It's true.
So yeah, it's quite a we could talk about prostate cancer and healing and breast cancer and healing forever.
It's true.
It's down to the individual
to make the decision if they want to fight it or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I fight it every day. And I heard you mention earlier on that we do run a gym.
Yeah.
We don't. It's called a prostate cancer gym.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's for those men who've had prostate cancer, who are on treatment, and we give them specific exercise to counteract the side effects of the treatment.
Okay.
So it lifts their spirit and everything.
That's good. That's really, really good. It's good to have that holding hand.
Yeah.
It's really good, especially that you didn't have it. Yeah. I think that's amazing. It's amazing that you're doing that.
That's what spurred me to do this.
That's really, really good. So, before we end our interview, our meeting, our conversation, everything.
I don't feel like we've been having an interview here, just we're having a conversation.
Yeah, before we end this beautiful conversation, what would you like to encourage, even the audience, whether it's not men watching, just everyone, men and women, what would you advise them to do? And what else, what's a nugget or a great quote you can leave with us to encourage everyone out there regarding prostate cancer?
Right. First and foremost, I would say to the men, okay? When your wives or your girlfriends or partners are telling you to go and get tested, you call it nagging. I say, no, they're loving you, because they want to see you tomorrow and the day after and so forth. Yeah. So don't take that as a nag. Take it as a love. Take it as a caring. And don't wait to have symptoms to go to your doctor and ask for a PSA blood test. The doctors right now are not allowed to turn you away. Okay? Especially as a Black man, we are known as the at risk.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's important for you all to go and get yourself a PSA blood test. If you don't know anything about PSA blood test and you want to know, find yourself a support group like Cancer Don't Let It Win, right? Where we educate you. We will guide you through the whole process and help you through that prostate cancer awareness. You don't have to have prostate cancer to visit our groups, okay? And we share all the information that we have about prostate cancer that you could take home with and talk to your family about it and so on. Yeah. Okay. There is an organization at the moment that's doing a risk checker, and you guys may have seen it all over the place. They've been at the Mobos and so on.
Okay.
As Prostate Cancer UK.
Okay.
They have a risk checker, which takes about 30 seconds. Just ask a few questions, and at the end of it, it may tell you whether you are at risk or not.
Okay.
Yeah. And that helps.
Okay.
So I would always say, just keep checking. Don't wait for that phone call, because right now there isn't a screening for men with prostate cancer. We are fighting to get that, and it's going to happen. Yeah. I've been there and I've been at the meetings at Parliament and other places. It's going to happen because it's important, because too many of us men are dying.
Absolutely. It's very important. Wow. Okay. So where can we find you and how can we donate and contribute to your organization?
Wow, that's a really good question. I think I'm all over the place. Well, if you can find me personally on LinkedIn as Jeff Thompson.
Okay.
And you'll have our Instagram page, which is Cancer Don't Let It Win on Instagram. We're also on Twitter temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also have a website, which is www.cancerdon'tletitwin.cic.com.
Okay, say that again.
Cancer Don't Let It Win. That's www.cancerdon'tletitwin.cic.com.
Okay.
Okay. There you could leave a donation. There's a donation page.
Okay.
And we are self-funded.
Okay.
Okay. We're not government run or anything like that.
Okay.
And I've been pushing this organization single-handedly by myself. Wow. From ever since we started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Jeff, thank you for coming to Her Voice, Her Strength.
Thank you for inviting me. Lovely to see you.
Again,
You take
honestly,
care.
take
Oh,
care.
Okay.
Right,
Oh,
guys. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please tell your brother, your uncle, your cousin, every man in your family to get their prostate checked. This was a beautiful conversation, very informative. And please, please, please again, make sure you get your loved ones checked. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again on another video. Bye.